Ottoman Turkey. Between 1886 and 1911, they passed gun control laws. The citizens were disarmed. Between 1915 and 1917, between 1 and 1.5 Armenian citizens were murdered. The Soviet Union, between 1929 during 1929, they passed a gun control law, and between 1929 and 1953, they murdered 20 million anti-communist, anti-Stalinist citizens, genocide, disarmed, and murdered. Nazi Germany, between 1928 and 1938, they disarmed the citizens. And between 1933 and 1945, 13 million Jews, Gypsies, and anti-Nazis were executed. In China, I don't like the way they say that either. It seems like either way. In China, between 1935 and 1957, were the gun control laws, and then 1949 through 1952, 1957 through 1960, and 1966 to 1976, 20 million anti-communist rural populations, pro-reform, grow, 20 million people in China between 1935 and 1957. Guatemala. The laws were passed between 1871 and 1964. They took everybody's guns, and then between 1960 and 1981, they slaughtered 100,000 Mayan Indians. And you know, the numbers on China, it said 20 million, like, I'd heard somewhere else that it was like 60 million, so just like, keep that in mind. And, in Uganda, in 1955 through 1970, they disarmed the citizens. In 1971 through 1979, 300,000 people were murdered, Christian political rivals. In Cambodia, in 1956, the laws were passed, the citizens were disarmed, and between 1975 and 1979, 1 million educated persons were exterminated. Yeah, it's pretty gruesome. To think that people could be, spending their time and resources on developing, like, positive culture of the planet and being a part of, like, the cosmic universe on, like, a bigger level and sending out good vibrations into deep space and being able to, fix our own problems on our own planet and feed everybody and make sure nobody starves, let alone shooting everybody in the head for no reason or having, a need for any of that stuff. It's just so outlandish. I just can't even express, like, how unnecessary all this waste and all this death and all this famine, all this genocide, all this war, all this money, all these bombs, all these bullets, it's all perpetrated, it's all propagated. Nobody just wants to do this. This is the work of higher intelligence. This is not just something that happens overnight. It's let me read here. Hold on a second. This is, like, I'm going to say 60 million instead of 20 million, so take 40 million off of what I'm going to say. But, let's see. So, basically around 108, 107 million people, were killed between 1886 and 1956. That's less than 100 years. In less than 100 years, more than 100 million people were murdered on this planet from tyranny and the Gestapo and just all these nasty hate groups. For what? What was that? What was the purpose? What did they get out of all that? What was? Why? Why am I reading this? Why did this happen? What was the real story here? Why all this death? What were they just? What makes sense about that? Is it? Why? Is it because they need to feast? They need to eat all of our death. So somebody dies, and then in another dimension they go back in time and replay the scene, but they do it on a parallel so that everything continues on as normal, but really they went back in the parallel, so on another plane they're playing with reviving him with newer technology, so people that don't have too bad of things, they can just bring them back to life and then kill them, keep them fresh, serve them up in restaurants, and all this crazy stuff, eat their flesh. I think that kind of thing might happen, for reptiles and reptilians, other dimensional beings or things running around in the astral plane. I hear reptiles like to eat people, and I think that during war and when all this bloodshed's going on, maybe that's really the case there. I'm not sure. I'm just literally talking mad shit, but maybe I don't know. I'm tired though, so peace out.